Hi there, Cancer and Cancer Rising. This is Raina. Welcome to your July 2015 Tarotscope. So this month I'm combining the Tarot and the Astrology because it makes it more streamlined. And I will talk about your cards as I talk about the transits. I decided to do the same spread that I did last month, and the first card that I drew is to represent the energy coming into the month of July. For you, I got the Temperance card in reverse. The Temperance card is in the Major Arcana, so again, this looks to be another month of change, maybe even significant change, because you got 2 out of 4 cards in the Major Arcana. And depending upon how your June was, if you found yourself maybe starting a new business and having so much work that you're up to your eyeballs and you were, trying to race against time to catch up, or maybe you have a day job and you have other things that you're working on in addition to that, and you're trying to strike a balance there. This card suggests that you need to find ways to create that balance so that you can have more equanimity in your life, because when we go out of balance, it affects us in every area and we start to feel off kilter. And I totally know that to be true. So it's something that you can work on in June if you are hearing this, which many people might, because I'm putting this out as early as possible. So in addition to that, I want to talk about the full moon that is happening on the first of the month. Now, here's the really cool thing. We have 2 full moons in the month of July. I think that qualifies as a blue moon, the second one. We have the first one in your sister sign or your complementary sign of Capricorn, which is exactly opposite to you. And this is at almost 10 degrees Capricorn on the very first of the month, and it is at 9:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. During this full moon, Venus will be conjunct Jupiter, the Sun will be trining Neptune, and the Moon will be trining Neptune. I think this is like off the charts manifestation potential. So if you can remember this at the time, it would be wonderful to maybe meditate. This is going to, like I said, this is going to be at night. You can meditate, you can think about what you wish to bring to you. And I have a Reiki candle that I have to dig up because they're supposed to be really, really good for attracting abundance. You could do something like that. So the full moon in Capricorn is all about manifestation of a material nature. It's all about organization, career objectives, 10th house matters, in other words. And you are the 4th house, which is home and family. So there's that dynamic between the home and family versus the career. But for your particular situation, in this month, it is you, the self, versus couplehood in the 7th house. And so relationship issues tend to be highlighted during this time. And for women, particularly, because we women are still, even in 2015, grappling with some of these same issues. Where do I begin and we end? And, Cancer, you guys are totally willing to merge with another person. But it's interesting. I think Cancer is a very interesting sign because while you're very domesticated, very nurturing, whether you're a male or a female, you are a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are initiators. And so it is not uncommon for a Cancerian, male or female, who is staying home with the children, and the males might want to do that just as readily as the females, to have a home-based business, because you guys are very good with money, and you're also interested in charting your own course. You know, cardinal signs are the executives. They're the ones that call the shots. And they don't really like to take orders too much. So if you do work for others, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you in the back of your minds are saying, I'm starting my own business. I want to do my own thing, because that's your natural place in the world, is to be the one that is the manager, the creator, and have people that you are directing. That's just how it is. And so during this full moon, you know, it always focuses on identity issues. And with Cancer, this can be particularly pronounced because you are willing to take the back seat sometimes in a quest for greater harmony within the family, within the home. And this isn't always a good thing. Sometimes it is. Now, the card that I drew for you that represents the first half of July is the Page of Pentacles. This is one of those cards that is pretty cool in my book, because pages represent young people, but they can also represent messages that you receive. And Pentacles has to do with money or other financial resources. So someone could contact you with some kind of message regarding a financial gain. And this could relate to a business, but it could also just be some money maybe that you were expecting, or that maybe you weren't expecting. So I think that's pretty cool. It also may suggest that you have to really roll up your sleeves and get to work. It's not this drudgery. That's the wonderful thing about it. So I like this card for you. I think it means that there is some abundance for the first half of July that is coming your way. And this makes perfect sense, because your second house is Leo. That's the house of earned income. And you have Jupiter there. I should note, because sometimes I forget to say this at the beginning of the forecast, that these are general readings. An actual reading based on your natal chart is available by me personally at reinaMoonAstrology.webs.com, and I have a whole bunch of services and can even tailor something directly for you. I have to say this because people think that when I say it's going to be in a certain house, that means for sure, and it doesn't, because it's all based upon your exact time of birth. That's what a natal chart is. So actually, Cancer rising, this might be more accurate for you guys. However, I do think it's worth anyone's while to read to listen to their sun sign forecast, because ultimately this is who we came to be. I think for predictive astrology, the rising sign sometimes will trump the solar chart. So, but please don't take this as being very accurate, because it can't be. So, on with the countdown. You have a lot of planets. You know, Cancer, you're a cardinal sign, and you have so many planets here. And you have so much cardinality right now. You know, these long-term transits, we have Uranus in Aries, we have Pluto in Capricorn. We even have the North Node in Libra. Now, that's not a super long transit. That's only like a year. But still, that's a cardinal sign. So all these things are hitting your sun or your rising sign in Cancer. And this causes sometimes a bit of tension, because, you know, you might feel that you're being blocked somehow. I was telling another astrologer on YouTube that that I have a lot of squares in my natal chart. And she said, oh, no, that's not, she said, that's not really a bad thing. And I had read that a lot of famous people have a lot of squares in their chart. So the fact that you have these transits and they're happening for a long time, it creates a certain energy, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a an incredibly transformative energy, and it's the kind of thing that will never probably be seen in your lifetime again, because these transits are so long. Pluto in Capricorn is going to last until 2024, so it's phenomenal. And our country is a Cancer, the United States, and we're seeing change on every possible level. So it's kind of unnerving at times, but it can be almost exhilarating as well. So I just wanted to put that out there and, mention that sometimes we can look at things one way and they're actually something totally different if you just have a different mindset. And in terms of the new moon, the new moon is always in the same sign as the sun, so it is at 23 degrees Cancer on July 15th at 8:24 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is your new moon of the year, Cancer. I've mentioned vision boards before, but here's another option, because some of us are not subscribing to magazines anymore. You could create your own video on YouTube. You can set it to private if you don't want other people to see it. As a matter of fact, this is for just you, so you don't have to share it with other people. You don't have to share the kind of things that you want to attract to you. I find that sometimes people leak their energy by always blabbing to other people, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And sometimes it's really good to keep your own counsel for a while when you have dreams, because other people sometimes get threatened by your dreams, and they might try to put them down, say that they're silly, say that they can't be done. And I'm just giving you a piece of advice about that. If you do decide to make some kind of a video that includes images of the things that you would like to have in 2015 to 2016 for the coming year, and things that you would like to accomplish. And you could even have a song that, uplifts you to accompany your video. But you could also do a collage. I'm sure that the internet or some app can do that sort of thing. I've never done that before, but I'm almost positive, I know that that exists out there, and just have all the images on one page. But whatever it is, it's something that you go back to every day to kind of get in that feeling place, which I think is Abraham Hicks, they like to say that, of that, excitement, the exhilaration, the wanting, the feeling how you want to feel when you have those things, have achieved those things, is a wonderful tool for manifestation. And the new moon is a time, whether you really believe in the energy of it or you just want to use it symbolically, it's during the middle of the month, and it's the thing that you can use to attract the good into your life for the coming year. The third card I picked for the second half of July was the Magician card in reverse. The Magician is all about co-creating. I just want to say really quickly that I always had a negative feeling towards the word magic. For some reason, it didn't resonate with me, or it made me uneasy. And I've often wondered if I had a lifetime as a witch and I was persecuted, back hundreds of years ago. I'm not sure, but maybe I was one of those people that they accused of being a witch, and I was persecuted and things like that, because the people that were hounded in those days were people who were not living like the rest of the people. You had a woman, she wasn't married, she was living on the edge of town. She wasn't living with everybody else. She kept apart, but she was interested in maybe herbs, healing, alternative healing even back then, and not necessarily just divination, but just the spiritual life. And people were suspicious of that. And so maybe that's where I was getting this negative connotation. And when I learned about manifestation, I learned that it just means that we don't think that life happens to us, that we are just dependent on external sources to bring us our good. I feel totally different now about my life. And not to say that I don't have moments of doubt either, like anybody else, but I always try to reframe it in something that empowers me. And that's what I think magic really is. It's not about, I don't believe in putting spells on people. To me, when you do things like that, you're trying to control other people, and to me that's wrong. So I would never try to manipulate energy so that other people want to be with me or give me something that I want. I want people to exercise free will. You're trying to manipulate people remotely, and I don't believe in manipulating people to their face or when they're not there. I don't believe in manipulation, period, whether you're doing it in front of somebody or from a remote area. So that is not what I'm about, but I believe that magic is actually just creating for yourself the life that you want. So in the reverse position, Cancer, this suggests that you have to step into your own power in the last half of July. You need to trust in yourself and in the universe, and you cannot cling to the past. You have to get over that need for security. Now, nobody's saying that you should do something totally risky right off the bat, but at least make the space for it in your consciousness. If there's something that needs to be changed, you might not be able to change it today, but at least you can say, I know that this is something that needs to be altered, and I'm here to do it. I'm going to do it. And you have to banish self-doubt. That's such a biggie when it comes to being the magician. The magician believes in his or her own power, and doubt is the enemy of power. Just keep that in mind. The last card that I picked that is the flavor of the month is the Seven of Pentacles reversed. See, there's another Pentacles there, and that's significant. That means something related to money. In this case, in the reverse position, it's reminding you to be deliberate in your intentions. And so really get clear of what you want. At the new moon, you can use that as the symbolism, or if you believe in its energy, the energy to set new intentions and to attract different circumstances if that's what you would like to do. Because this card can indicate that you're not happy at your job. And if this is the case, if you're in a degrading position, and some people are in their workplace, some people have bosses who do not show them respect, who might actually cut them down. You might have coworkers who talk behind your back, who act competitively, who are not cooperative. If you are in that kind of an inharmonious environment, this card is saying that you need to take care of this. But again, we don't have to get hasty. We don't have to quit tomorrow. We don't have to do anything to jeopardize ourselves right now. But you have to, at least, at the very least, have within your mind the ability that you can attract something better. If you say to yourself, nope, the economy, I can't, and you just close your mind and it's shut, then and so it is. That's how it will be. You have to at least say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with quitting my job today. I'm not going to do that. You know, I don't know if I could get anything else right now. But I am going to start a job search, or while I'm doing this job, I'm going to start my own business. I don't have to work for somebody else. There's no law that says I have to work for somebody else. I'll work for myself. But in the meantime, I'm going to work this job, and I'm just going to say positive affirmations. While these people are dealing with it, I can just say, you know what? This is temporary. I'm already like half out the door. So, you know, I'll actually enjoy this, watching these people treat me like this, because I know that I'm already free. It's just starting in my mind, but it's going to spread and manifest itself in reality. And you would be surprised at the shift. You might even get your coworkers treating you better, and they won't know why they're doing so. It's amazing. Now, is that magic? I think so, but it's magic that is not hocus pocus. There's nothing mystical about it. It's actually just owning your power, stepping into it. And I read it somewhere. They said when you change, the world changes. You don't have to change somebody else, and you can't. So it's really great when you can be that magician and you can devise the perfect life for yourself, where you can have the experiences that you want to have. And any experience that doesn't fit that bill goes away of its own volition, because it cannot exist in this higher frequency. This is another thing that happens. When you raise your frequency, everything that is lower than that will exit your life. All those people that are trolls in your real life, not online, maybe some of the online trolls, but some of the people in your life that, you know, just seem like they just are there to provoke you, those people will drop off and they will not be part of your existence. And you won't have to have any kind of like awkward scenes to get rid of them. They will just leave. I've, you know, read this, and it has happened in my own life. So it's a beautiful thing, you know, because life should be easy as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe in struggle. Is this because I'm a Taurus rising and I like things to be comfortable? Maybe. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So Cancer, I hope you've enjoyed this month's. The thing I forgot to say last month is happy birthday to June Crabs. And the same goes for you guys in July. I was so busy starting my new endeavors with astrology and the tarot that I didn't even think that, you know, Geminis and some crabs were having their birthday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday month. It's so energizing to have the sun in your sign. And I also want to say that at the end of this video, I'm going to be introducing you to a Cancerian who I believe is very inspirational. The last day of the month features another full moon, this time in the sign of Aquarius, which is opposite the sun in Leo. And this full moon is at almost 8 degrees Aquarius and occurs at 5:43 a.m. Central Standard Time. This full moon falls in your 8th house of other people's money. So if there was some inheritance issue that has been kind of hovering in the air, there might be some closure, or new developments in this area. It could have something to do with stocks that, you decide to sell, or that come of, you might get some kind of special dividends, splits, that sort of thing. But this is also dealing with issues like regeneration, which is part of the 8th house. So it's a great time for purification routine. We're going into July with this full moon energy. So it's kind of like interesting that we've had two closures, one at the first day, one at the last day. One on the first day, one on the last day. It's very significant in some way, I think. I think July, for all of us, will be a month of endings and possibly beginnings. And for you, I think there will be a lot of change, or at the very least, it might be internal, because I think you're going to be doing a lot of reflection. I do recommend around the time of the full moon, that first one, that you find a way to get out into nature and bring a notebook and really sit with yourself, not just for an hour, but like maybe half a day or a whole day, and kind of plan out what you would like the next year to look like. And for you, I would also recommend that you find a body of water. It doesn't have to be, the ocean or anything that grandiose. It could be a pond. But water signs really gravitate towards the water, and it might help you clarify your thoughts even more. Being out in nature grounds us, and it really kind of allows us to go within better. It's like a natural sanctuary. We have all these beautiful temples that are built, and they're made out of gold and all these ornate carvings. And God has made us temples in the form of trees and rivers and lakes and ponds and oceans. And that's where I like to go to feel closer to God. And it's just a great way to get real, if you know what I mean. So just putting it out there.